What's up, my LS crazed amigos? It's your boy Terry speaking from the garage shop once again. Hoping you and yours had a happy turkey-filled Thanksgiving. But it is time to get back to these LS installed or either stock LS cars that we love so much. Make them better. Alright. Now, I was, I get email, and I got a couple of emails where a couple of our people, they've experienced, like in their cars that have manual transmission, T56 or the TR6060, 6-speed manual transmission installed in their cars. They experience a transmission grind, a gear grind from first to second. I've never experienced it because I let my car get warmed up. They say that this happens when the car is cold, the transmission is cold, fluid's cold in the transmission. So again, I never experienced it, but what I did was I jumped into my 2011, SS, because I had to find out, it's a manual, and I jumped into it when it was cold. I didn't let it get warmed up, start the car up, and I just took off.
You hear that?
Yeah, that bothered me. I didn't like that. The thing is that, when you go from first, if you wind first gear out to third, you can fix that problem, no worries. But then once the transmission got warmed up, it goes right to second, not a problem. So that made me think maybe it's the transmission fluid, maybe it's too thick. But then what I did was I went online just to check out, see what people were doing, if this was a common problem, and it seems like it was. And so what I did was I found out that most people, to alleviate the problem, what they do is they switch the transmission fluid over to the DT, the Redline D4 synthetic AF automatic transmission. Don't get fooled where it says automatic transmission ATF. It also for manual. So a lot of people don't realize you can put automatic transmission fluid in your TR6060 or T56 and it'll work good. I guess maybe because transmission fluid is like really thick and it's not getting up in the synchros and gears and lubing them properly until it gets room temperature or either operating temperature. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, right here, I got a worthy candidate, 2011 SS. I'm going to drain transmission fluid out of my car. I'm going to put this stuff in to see, and then run it cold again to see if that alleviates the problem. Let's get to work. Now, just drain transmission fluid out the car, and I think this holds correctly for the T56, but the drain plug is on the passenger side. The fill plug is on the driver's side. So what you might want to do is you may want to lift the car up on the driver's side. That way, you see how it's dripping out now? It's not on a level surface, so you get all the transmission fluid out, and even when you fill it back up, it's going to be tilted towards. It's going to be the fill plug is going to be tilted upwards, so you'll be able to get a little bit more transmission fluid in once you're ready to refill the case. All right. So looks like it's about ready to. It's pretty much done at this point. So I'm gonna put the drain plug back in and tighten it up. Now, if you're one of those fortunate individuals who has a lift in your garage, hey, bless you. I'm not hating. But if you're like me and you have to do this on your back, which there's certain things I really don't mind doing on my back. Draining transmission fluid just isn't one of them. But I'm tightening up the drain plug. Alright, you're going to use your 3/8 on the drain and the fill plug, your 3/8 ratchet, and just put it in and just tighten it in. And there you go. So now it's time to fill this transmission. Take the fill plug off. Again, the fill plug is right on the driver's side. And here it is. So now it's time to fill the case up, the transmission with the fluid, the Redline. But before you do it, what you got to do is you got to go to AutoZone. You got to pick up, or any auto parts store, and you got to pick up one of these little pumps. They're great. So basically what happens is you put the pump on the bottle, you screw it down, and you just pump the fluid in, because the way the transmission fill plug is, you're not going to be able to get a funnel up in there, and there's no way you can get the fluid in there other than something like this. So now what you want to do is you want to pick up a couple of these things, so whenever you have to do, let's say a differential fluid change, you got it, and then what you do is you mark it, you put it away, and you put it in a box, and you say, okay, differential. And then when you have to do a transmission, get another one, put it away. When you're done with transmission change, put it in the box. That way you don't get them mixed up, because you should just use one per fluid. That's how I'm going to do it. So time to get this thing cracked open. Well, after independent testing, I would love to come back and tell you, all you got to do is change your transmission fluid and all your second gear shifting, grinding problems will be gone. Sorry, but that's not the case. I did a little research, and it appears that this is a well-known problem with GM, and online anyways. So I guess I never experienced this problem because I thoroughly let my car get warmed up before I take it out anywhere, especially when it's cold. So I guess, like I said, you know, like looking online on the blogs, it seems like GM knew about this problem. So this is going to probably go down one of the all-time questions that I had for GM that were never answered. Like, I guess, how come they never put a two-port injection in that beautiful Monte Carlo SS back in the 80s? I don't understand that. I mean, it'd be so easy to do. All you got to do is take a couple of Monte Carlo SS's, throw them down the IROC assembly line, install the engine compartment, and then you'd be done with it. But no. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That's just a touchy subject for me. But anyways, so there's a couple of things that I found you can do, that I found that I would do. All right, because it seems like, you know, like even when I started the car cold, drove it, I did get that grind. So a couple things you can do. You can let your car get thoroughly warmed up. Let it get warmed up. 2, you could rev, if you have to drive the car when it's cold, transmission not warmed up, not overrev, but rev out first gear and put it into third until the transmission gets warmed up and drive it normally. But I tell you, if your transmission still grinds and your car is running at normal operating temperature, transmission fluid is all nice and warmed up, and you're still getting that second gear grind, it might be time you have to take it to a transmission specialist. It could be a sinker, or it could be anything. I don't know. So that's my report. And looking at this clock on the wall, it's time for me to get back to, I don't know, fixing, building something. I don't know. So until next time, be easy and have a safe, happy holiday to you and yours. And I'm out.